G'day legends, today we are going to be jumping on the back of Alex Pereira for even acknowledging this horrible idea from Jon Jones, the idea of fighting for a BMF title. Quack, quack, boys. It looks like we have two ducks holding up the top divisions in the UFC. Now look, I know a lot of the people that watch this channel are massive Alex Pereira fans. I get it, but this is too far. He must fight Magomed Ankalaev next. But he is in talks, or he is at least open to be in talks with the UFC about fighting Jon Jones up at heavyweight. What is going on with the top champions? And I don't mean top champions as in the best champ. I guess they could be considered some of the best champions. Some of you people still call Jon Jones the GOAT. I don't know why. Genuinely, his last 4 fights at light heavyweight was horrible. His last really great fight at light heavyweight was a no contest because of drug abuse. We're going to get into all of that. And then some people would like to consider Alex Pereira as one of the greatest fighters as well. So why are some of our top fighters ducking their hardest competition? What is going on? And I'm very interested to see why some fans think it's okay to cheer on Alex Pereira for this, but let's all make 1,000 videos talking about how Jon Jones is ducking Tom Aspinall. Let's get into it right now. So it all started with Alex Pereira posting this to his Instagram story. Dana White holding the BMF belt saying, "Shum, my brother, let's make them wait." I don't like this, okay, because waiting is exactly the problem here. Alex Pereira has done a great job at promoting the UFC in 2024. He has essentially become the face of the UFC in 2024. And because he has scratched the UFC's back at jumping in late notice, the UFC have done him some favors by giving him the 8th ranked, coming off a drug suspension, Khalil Roundtree, which at the end of the day, in hindsight, was a closer fight than it should have been, but it was a favor to Alex Pereira. In fact, DC said it himself. The UFC was protecting him. And honestly, I couldn't fault Alex for that, because if the UFC is going to give you a softball, I don't blame you for swinging at it. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is his problem. That's fine. But this idea of calling out the BMF belt against Jon Jones, that is clearly Alex Pereira ducking Magomed Ankalaev. And there has been this constant narrative going on this year about, is it Alex Pereira ducking? Is it the UFC protecting Alex Pereira as one of their stars? Or is it Magomed Ankalaev's fault? Because he didn't want the fight at UFC 300 because of Ramadan, because he made one tweet suggesting that we should do it in Abu Dhabi. So is it Magomed Ankalaev that's being a hard contender to work with? Well, as we know now, the most recent updates we have from Team Magomed Ankalaev is that they are ready to go whenever Alex is. And in the past, I could say, look, it was a mix of things. You know what I mean? It was bad timing because of Ramadan. It was the UFC protecting their star. But this post right here goes to show that moving forward, from this date forward, it is Alex Pereira that is the one choosing to look in a different direction, a direction that isn't facing Magomed Ankalaev. And even when it comes to Alex Pereira himself, if you listen to the true GOAT of the sport, Chael Sonnen, as a prize fighter, your next fight should always be against the easiest competition for the most money possible. That's what you, the fighter, should do as your job. However, us, the fans, have had a big bloody week piling on Jon Jones for ignoring Tom Aspinall. And I just think it's very interesting in 2024 when Alex Pereira is everyone's new favorite toy. I can't wait to see what kind of reaction this post gets from Alex Pereira. Considering this post only happened late last night for me, we are fresh into this news. I am going to be watching fans' reactions very bloody closely today. And there's already some reactions pouring in. And this is the casual check of the century, boys. When you see that there are fans out there that actually think that this is a good idea, you will know that they only started watching UFC like last year, this year, right? They are the Israel Adesanya fanboys that came on very, very recently because Alex Pereira is the new toy and they're super into it, right? There are people out there that think Alex Pereira versus Jon Jones is the best fight that we can see right now, like the best competitive fight that we can see right now. And it hurts me. It hurts me that there are people out there in our fighting community that watch this sport, and that I know that they're the sort of people that Dana White is selling the fight to. Like, of course, the sort of people that are making these comments have bloody anime fairies in their profile picture. Of course, that's the sort of MMA audience that would be into this. I can't even believe there's the type of people that have anime fairies as their profile picture that even watch MMA. if this fight happens, this is one of the better fights that we will see in UFC history. No, it's not. No, it's not. Jon Jones would absolutely destroy Alex Pereira in the wrestling. It would be a wash, a whitewash. It would not be a competition, okay? Jon Jones now has said that they want to fight at around a 240 catch weight, which I guess is technically within the heavyweight bracket, but you know what I mean. Heavyweights generally, when they're proper heavyweights, have to cut weight to make the heavyweight limit, whereas Jon Jones and Alex Pereira just sort of want to dance with each other around 240. This would be Jon Jones easily holding Alex Pereira down and out wrestling him. Easily. It's not a competitive fight. It's not one of the better fights that we would see in UFC history, you absolute nuffy, mate. This one from the Fairy. Listen, man. GOAT recognizes GOAT, okay? Jon Jones shouldn't even be considered one of the GOATs. The excuse that people make for putting him on the GOAT list when it comes to the drug cheating is that, well, he was drug cheating when everyone else was drug cheating. That is half untrue. Like, he's done so much drug cheating, you've got to go through the history of Jon Jones drug cheating. And in early Jon Jones drug cheating history, everyone was on drugs. It wasn't really that big of a concern to the UFC. But his most recent drug cheating allegations, the one that got a fight actually overturned, and how often do you see a fight actually overturned to a no contest? It's very rare. That's how bad of a case it was that Jon Jones was drug cheating against Daniel Cormier. Happened in an era when everyone was meant to be clean. So he was on drugs, but everyone was on drugs. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. You shouldn't even be considered as a GOAT. And of course you think that Alex Pereira is a MMA GOAT because he's had a great run in 1 year because you've only been watching for 1 bloody year. So the idea of GOAT recognizes GOAT is ridiculous. And I get it. They want to challenge each other. Like, they're superstars. They're superstars. GOAT, MMA GOAT isn't quite the right word, but they are superstars, right? And I get that they want to challenge each other. Conor McGregor wanted to challenge Floyd Mayweather. I understand. But we learned from that debacle. It held up 2 divisions. It was a nightmare for the UFC with Conor moving over to go and fight Floyd Mayweather. Whenever champions step away from their belt and just put the divisions on pause, it's horrible. So if they want to fight each other for a BMF belt, which is so ironic because they'd be fighting each other for a BMF belt because they're ducking their number 1 contenders. But if they want to do that, they both need to relinquish their titles. And it needs to be Jamal Hill versus Magomed Ankalaev for the undisputed light heavyweight vacated title. And it needs to be Tom Aspinall elevated to the undisputed champion, who is making his, third or second interim champion defense against the winner of Volkov versus Gane. And then Jon Jones can go and out-wrestle Alex Pereira and pretend like it's some amazing achievement. That is the only way that this can happen. But they cannot hold up 2 divisions because Jon Jones wants to have a dick measuring contest with Alex Pereira. Forget all of that, mate. This one, Jon Jones versus Alex, is much more hyped than Aspinall. Only Tom fans are crying like bitches about it. Hyped? Yes, it could be more, but I don't even think it's more hyped, to be honest. Like, at least Jon Jones has a chance to submit Aspinall and solidify himself as not only the greatest light heavyweight of all time, but one of the greatest heavyweights of all time as well. If Jon Jones beat Cyril Gane, beat Stipe Miocic, and then beat an absolutely peaking Tom Aspinall, which he has a chance to do. Because Jon Jones is very tall, very lanky, very rangy, there is a chance that he could out-submit Tom Aspinall. To me, that is a more hyped fight when you understand what is going into it than Jon Jones versus Alex Pereira, which would just be a wrestlefest. Like, Alex would have to land his perfect shot on someone who has had one of the best chins and range control and eye pokes, especially with that straight up stance that Alex Pereira has. The chances of Alex Pereira beating Jon Jones are smaller than the chances of Jon Jones beating Tom Aspinall. So even when it comes to hype, you just are showing that you do not understand the sport. You are just looking at names on a pay-per-view that you've seen recently. That is all it is. This is, agreeing with this take, is the casual check of the century. That Alex Pereira against Jon Jones is a more fun fight than Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall. This is the casual check. This is it. It's annoyed me so much waking up to this. Let me know down there in the comments Are we getting on Alex Pereira's back for this? Is he clearly ducking Magomed Ankalaev? Yes or no? Is this not him looking in another direction? What is going on here? Give me some feedback about this down there in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, g'day. My name's Dougie. I make an MMA video every single day, and I go live about 3 times a week. So if you want to check all of that out, hit that subscribe button down there. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when I go live. And if you guys are already on board with the channel, I know you're Alex Pereira fans, so you're probably not going to leave a like on this video. You're probably going to give me a ton of abuse down in the comments. Bring it. He is ducking Magomed Ankalaev. It is what it is. Until then, I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great day.